Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. And happy Halloween. It's Halloween 2025. Right now. No more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. No more days to Halloween, because it's right fucking here, right now. So light your pumpkins, light your turnips if you're on Poverty Row. Jiggle your skeletons in the doorway. You know, get the ghosts going, boo to all the monstrous hordes of kids coming around for candy. But have fun, it's Halloween. And here's a nice horror film review, which I've been trying to do in the run up to Halloween this year for 5 days now, 5 days. And something's always got in the way of it. Just stuff, the real life stuff of nightmares. And but Vampire Circus from 1972 is one of my favourite Hammer movies. It's not looked upon generally with a lot of affection by all the Star Wars Hammer buffs. No, because it's from the 70s when Hammer was like falling off the radar, and they were pushing boundaries, graphic sex, graphic gore, and experimental stuff. The same year as this came out, we got Captain Kronos Vampires. He's over there, actor. Captain Kronos. And regular viewers know that alongside Plague of the Zombies, that has got to be my favourite Hammer movie. And no, Curse of Frankenstein, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. There's so many you could choose, and they're all excellent in their own ways. But Captain Kronos, because it's so different, Brian Clemens just went, here's all the Hammer playbook. Get rid of it. Chuck it into Blackwoods. Off you go. I'm doing something different, and created a film that's genius. And again, with this movie, you had writers and a director in Robert Young who were not part of the Hammer stable. It is Robert Young, isn't it? It is Robert Young. Yeah, it's Robert Young. This is the problem I've got with this movie. That's what I was coming to. It's a difficult film to review in my sort of usual style. Regular viewers know that when I do a Hammer movie, or many movies, I'll go it through scene by scene by scene by scene by scene by scene. I'll go on. And I'll talk opinionated throughout every little bit, and I'll throw in little anecdotes. But I'll cover the movie, pretty much dialogue and everything, and you get loads more thrown in, free of charge. And with Vampire Circus, I've got a real problem with this one. I know the film really well, but there's so many characters in it. You've got all the vampires, you've got all the circus performers, and you've got all the townspeople of Shtetl, or Schnittelgruber, a little Serbian town, and cursed, haunted. There's so many characters on both sides, and so much that happens in the scant, 87 minutes the film runs for? 88 minutes maybe. There's so much going on that it's hard to do it because the film is disjointed. Why disjointed? Why? Well, Robert Young and his writers and a lot of the behind the scenes crew weren't part of the Hammer stable. They didn't know about the 6-week rule. For God's sake, we do not go beyond 6 weeks. You can't do that on the pain of death. So he didn't finish the film. He filmed enough, but there's still more to do, as in bridging sequences between one scene and another scene. Well, how did he get to there from there? Because they didn't have that conclusion. There must have been something else to make that happen. Yeah, because he didn't film it. Because the careerist boys slammed the brakes on and went, no, right, that's it. Pull out all the stakes, that's it. Stop now. Stand down, put your vampires back in their coffins. End filming. And so with Robert Young, he said, get your editor, Peter Musgrave, and the two of you can make a film out of what you've got. So it was like, oh shit, okay, well there'll be bits that won't make too much sense. As it turns out, the film is a wonderful kaleidoscope of carnival-esque horrors, lashings of gore. This is one of the goriest Hammer ever did. You've actually got necks and ripped up throats and jugular spurting gore. You've got lots of boobies and a bit of down below stuff as well. Yeah, Thankfully, it's a girl. It's not one of the blokes. But it's pretty out there. 72. Hammer was pushing boundaries, as we know. I've discussed it many times, because they were falling off the map altogether. They couldn't compete with American independence and even American big screen studio stuff like The Omen, The Exorcist. They couldn't compete with that sort of thing coming out. And the graphic gore and all that. Like, they were deemed as being quaint and twee and from a prior generation, which they were. And of course, we've all now reaffirmed our love for all the vintage gothic horrors that they came up with. But they were trying to push things, be a bit more taboo breaking. And with Vampire Circus, they very definitely did break a lot more than their usual taboos, because the writers and Robert Young didn't know what the parameters were. I've got a feeling they probably sat and watched a few Hammer movies and thought, okay, we get the gist now. Boobs, blood, fangs, yeah, we can do this, yeah, no worries. But what if we did this as well? What if we brought this in? We've got necrophilia, we've got bestiality, we've got, in its most disturbing aspect, this film has elements of preying on children, and it's a huge element of this movie. So, be aware of that. Now, weirdly enough, I've got many different versions of this movie from all around the world. My favourite is the one I wanted to put up here. I can't find it. It's a VHS release from about, I don't know, I'd say about 1989, maybe 1990. And it's lurid cover, and but it's got this great quote. It's got a great quote on the back, which says, from whoever was the reviewer, said, from whatever national paper it was, like whoever the critic was, it says like, Vampire Circus set standards in the horror genre that many feel have yet to be equalled. And at the time when I bought that copy, I was like, you know what? And I was only young. I was like, God, they're right. They're right. There's so many elements in this movie which you couldn't make this movie now. You'd struggle to make this movie now, because of the subcurrent, the subtexture of preying on children and the sexual aspect of that. They're in sexualized situations. They're teased and they're tempted, and and then they're killed. It does do that, and you're hearing now David Whittaker's score for the movie. David Whittaker also did The Sword and the Sorcerer for Albert Pyun, and you know how much I love Sword and the Sorcerer. Up there, my waggling Peter Cushing finger is pointing to the great canvas artwork for the original poster, The Sword and the Sorcerer. And you can hear elements in this score of what would later become Sword and the Sorcerer. While we're on David Whittaker, and you're hearing his score now, which is lavish and it's baroque and exotic, and you've got the bum 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 stem and drang you'd expect from like James Bernard, the usual composer for Hammer movies, but he actually employed a great big church organ and got it all rigged up, with amplifiers and all that, and recorded lots of like stuff from that. And you got the circus calliope going on. You got Big Dave Prowse as the circus strongman, not a vampire. I know I'm going off on many different tangents, but hey, you can't do this film justice by trying to stick to the plot. You can't do it. It won't work that way. It stubbornly refuses to be analysed in any structural capacity, and I admire that. It's kind of rebellious in that respect. But you've got you've got the calliope thing, and he's got the whatever you call it, the accordion thing. It's like a great big sort of fucking, like a wooden computer strapped to his big chest. It's like, whoa. It looks great as well. He looks really good. Of course, Dave Prowse, yeah, Darth Vader, yeah, yada. All that, Yoda. He'd been in a couple of Hammer movies beforehand, like Frankenstein and Monster from Hell, or was that just after this? Maybe just after it. And obviously Horror of Frankenstein. Oh dear God, where they put him in a nappy. He was the Frankenstein monster, the creation, and they put him in a nappy. No real makeup, just showing off his big buff body, and they kind of added a head extension to him, but he's baldy, and you've got obviously the stitchy bits around the top of his bonce. but he looked bloody awful, and you could tell he's embarrassed as hell. But he got the part in this because he just wanted to be in a Hammer horror movie. You know, I can be a monster. I've got the walk. I've got the size. I can be a monster. And initially, he was told to fuck off. You know, he was shown the door unceremoniously, and then like it's either James or Michael Carreras went, and they were doing horror of Dracula, horror of Frankenstein. Like that big fucking muscle-bound bastard, bring him back in. He can do shove a nappy on him, at me, and take the piss out of him. But he'll think he's a monster, and that's what happened. But anyway, cheers, y'all. Cheers, Dave. So where are we with this? We're in, you know, Middle Europe, some Serbian town, and you get a prologue, a pre-title sequence, which is 12 minutes long. It's an epic mini movie in its own right. Someone out there will tell me, I'm pretty certain not even any James Bond movie had a lengthy pre-credit sequence as long as 12 minutes. I could be wrong about that. I don't think I am. But what this is, you've got, look, I'm going to get the names all wrong. You've got a teacher, you've got a doctor, you've got a Burgermeister, and you've got and you've got all their sons and their daughters in the village, right? So you've got all this. We have our teacher who is, let's get his name. I'm sure I've got his name somewhere. Is he? Right, yeah. Lawrence Payne plays Muller. And he's sitting in the woods, Black Woods, and he's sitting there, he's reading, and it's all the birds and Tweety stuff. And he's like, yeah. Oh, it sure is lovely here. Right. Then he sees a little girl who's the daughter of another town's member. And there's an overturned tree, a dropped tree, and she's walking along it like she thinks she's in King Kong, and King Kong's going to throw her off the log. And she's there, and he's like, oh, it's lovely. And then he sees his wife, Anna. Anna, played by, let's get her name, Dominique Blythe, who is, wow, she's fucking amazingly gorgeous. And he sees his wife, Anna, actually, you know, tease the little girl and take her hand and lead her off into the woods. And he's like, puts his book down. Anna? That's not normal Anna-ish behaviour. Leading children into the woods. Off he goes. And like literally just round the corner, you know, they push a few bushes aside, and there's Castle, what's his name? Mitterhaus. Is it Mitterhaus? Oh God, Count Mitterhaus. Anyway. Do you know what? I said this film was going to fuck me up, and it's going to do it. So many different names and all that, but the big vampiric count lives in this baronial homestead, and our teacher, he runs up there, he sees his wife go in there with this little girl, and the door shuts, and he's like, no, Anna, no. If it's such a bad place, why were you sitting just round the corner in the shadow with this fucking big, you know, Count Mitterhaus vampiric chateau? Why was you doing that? And all beatifically, oh, this is great. Well, because there's sunlight, obviously, so I suppose. Well, he won't be around, will he? Next thing you know, we see Anna in there being seduced by Count Mitterhaus, who is played by Robert Tayman. Right. I'm going to get my little notes up here because it makes no sense. Robert Tayman, and he's great. He's young. He's not Christopher Lee. He's got a bit more sort of, you know, rock star hairdo going on, and he looks like Timothy Dalton. Speaking of Bond, he looks like Timothy Dalton. In fact, he looks so much like Timothy Dalton. It makes you wonder how good would Dalton have been as a vampire, playing Dracula even. Tall, suave, dark, debonair, you know, could be aggressive and quite severe. I think Dalton could have done that. Why didn't Dalton do it? Anyway, so you got Mitterhaus there, and Mitterhaus, in his big frilly gothic shirt, you know, opened, bit of chesticles, and they got the little girl, and she brought the girl to him, and he teases her. She's all like falling under his spell, and it's fucking horrible. And he just goes, ah. And this film has the best fangs in any Hammer horror movie, bar none. They're the best, and everyone who sports these fangs, they look really good going with the big sort of fucking, I'm gonna rip your fucking jugular out, you know. They look amazing, and he does, and he kills the girl, and then he says, Anna, one lust feeds the other. So he's killed the girl, having seduced the girl, not the little girl. So now he's going to have it off, literally have it off with Anna. Now, this film does do the thing. Like, of course, you know, vampires are always synonymous with sex. But as I've always maintained, in the classic vampire movies, the vampire consummates his or her orgasmic moment. Isn't any kind of, you know, magical bit penetration. It's fucking biting and blood sucking. And that's what they achieve. Their victim achieves an orgasm, you know, a death shudder when they're getting drained. And that's how they get their kicks. They don't actually do any rumpy pumpy. Well, in this they fucking do. They do. Kilt-Man and Anna have a good fucking roll around. And you see, and she's astonishingly gorgeous. And doesn't get any recognition really at all in the Hammer Glamour pantheon of babes. She is out there. She shows everything, you know, albeit briefly, but boobage rolling around and lots of sort of like dreamy, surreal, sort of lying on top of each other, you know, sort of stuff. But a lot of flesh on show, you know, like. But in the meantime, Muller, the fella, Anna's husband, has run back to town and gathered together. Yes, the village people, you know, YMCA, and they're all together. You know, but we can't go. My wife's in there with your daughter. But that's the Count. We can't attack the Count. Think what he'll do. You know, your girl went missing. Your son went missing. That went missing. Your one of your legs is missing. You know. All this sort of stuff. Let's some pitchforks and torches and a big battering ram. And this is still the pre-credit sequence, folks. And they smash the door down and they lay siege to his castle. And he kills a couple of them. You know, he fights back and all that. Listen. Interestingly to note, it's not his voice, not Robert Tayman's voice. It is David de Keyser. Not a good name, is it? It sounds great, but you know, its connotations aren't too good. David de Keyser. David de Keyser was a great actor, stage and screen, but also lent his voice to narration for movies and doing voiceovers. And again, another Bond connection. He voiced Draco on Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby. He did that thick, you know, really rich, you know, European twanged voice with such a great accent. I gave a bit of Bela Lugosi there. And you can tell that it's not Robert Taven whose voice you're hearing. It's, you know, this guy, David de Keyser. I think, although I can't find a reference for this, I think he voices the Grail in Excalibur. Whom do you serve? You know, I think that's his voice. I think, could be wrong, but anyway. So Kilt-Man battles these bastards and kills a few of them, and then they manage to fucking get a stake through him. And he's like, comes through his back and out of his chest. You fuckers, you know. Or rather, you fuckers, you will die. All of you will die. All of your children will die. They will die to give me back my life. So they killed him, but he's cursed them all. There's Anna in the nudie nudes, and they fucking drag her, throw a dressing gown on her, and they drag her out. And of course, her husband's there. He's going, Anna, you bitch, you know. And they form a line either side of her, and they make her walk the gauntlet. Again, this is fucking nasty stuff. They're taking their belts off, you know, like getting the buckle ready, and like they got birch and all that, and they're fucking whipping it and hitting it and whipping it and hitting it and kicking it and that. And it's she's like, you know, what's his name? Oh, Muller, whatever his name is, I can't remember. Jonathan, you know, and they're fucking having a go, and he finally throws himself on it and says, no, like leave her, that's enough. let's burn the castle down. So she gets away and she gets into the castle and she drags, meets a house, his body with a stake in it, drags him down to the catacombs, the crypt down below, which is a phenomenal set. We'll talk more about that later. And then you get all these little, these aren't the kind of beer barrels that I'm used to, or whiskey barrels. They're little tiny barrels like that. But they're obviously full of something flammable. So they hail them all in there, blow the fucking place up, and then they think, oh, job done. But what about the curse? What? He cursed us. He cursed us. And he's gone now. So's your wife, and then I think we get to like 15 years later, something like that anyway, and the town of Schnittel, whatever, is now besieged by a plague. Is it bubonic plague? Well, we'll find out in the end that it is, but it's what brought that plague. And so people have got like big pustulant sores on their faces, but the village itself is enclosed, it's quarantined, they can't leave, no one can go in. You've got soldiers on every road with roadblocks and that, and you try to escape, they will shoot you down. It's like the Crazies, George Romero. But there's a really, I don't know if it's a good scene or a really bad scene, but it's a lengthy scene at the start of this movie. Once you've had the big fucking pre-credit sequence, then you get the title sequence, and then you get this. And there's about 20 people in it in a big stately room discussing their dilemma. Well, there's so-and-so is sick, and so-and-so is sick, and we need to get around, but we can't leave. What are we going to do? We need to get help, blah, 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 blah. And the camera just goes around about 30 people, all like blah, 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 blah. I can't work out if it's clumsy or it's actually really well done. But it's a big sequence setting up all these different characters. The Burgermeister, played by Thorley Walters, who's great, always wonderful. He's got a big powdery sort of his wig's flying off to one side like that, and he's like, and he was Frankenstein, Peter Cushing's assistant in a couple of Frankenstein movies, and he's in an Amicus movie, I Monster. He's great though, but he's playing a blustery buffoon, a Nigel Bruce type character, and everyone. Well, I'm kind of made up with this film because all the main characters have got burst blood vessels and capillaries because they're all heavy fucking drinkers, and my face is doing the same thing. My face has gone that way now, and there's fuck all I can do about it other than drink some more and try and match it all up. You can see the pinkness, the ruddy complexion. We've got Halloween right now, but Christmas time, I'll be all the rage. I'll be the most fashionable goon out there. So, you've got a doctor and his son. The doctor is played by, I don't even know why I'm going to bother doing this, because I probably haven't got his name anyway. And I haven't. Might be here. Dr. Kirsch, Richard Owen, and his son Anton. Now Anton, I forgot his name. Sorry, is that his name? Oh, I didn't do it, mate. I didn't do it. And Anton's good. He's one of the main players in this, and he's about 18, something like that. But Anton, whoever plays him, looks like Horst Janssen, who plays Captain Kronos. He's even got the same hairdo and does the same flick. And of course, Horst Janssen looked like Bjorn Borg, tennis player Bjorn Borg. But this lad looks nothing like Bjorn Borg, but looks like Captain Kronos. Go figure that. And there is shape-shifting in this movie, quite a bit of. So they fostered a plan. Look, we need medication for the victims of the plague, but you won't get past the roadblocks and the guards and the soldiers. Well, we can try. Father, I'll go with you. I'll distract them. So you get this quite interesting sequence where the two of them ride out and they're hiding in the bushes. And there's the guards over there. You see soldiers with muskets and all that. And the son goes, look, Father, I'll draw their fire. I'll distract them, and you can make a getaway. You can get clear. He's like, son, are you sure about this? You see, if his son hadn't done this, then it wouldn't have fucking worked. So the son does ride out, and they're like, that was an automatic shotgun there, by the way. Muskets. and all this, and he comes off the horse, and like in the meantime, his dad makes a fucking galloping getaway, hanging off the side of the horse, yeah, and he gets away with it. Yes, and you know, in it, the lad gets up. He goes, all right, and waves a white hand. I'm going back. If you were a fucking soldier there, that's your. You're like, oh, fuck that. Yeah, you're going nowhere, son. But he gets back, and tells everybody else it was a big success. Father's got away. He'll come back. He'll see the emperor. He'll come back with medication and more soldiers, which is exactly what he does do, as it happens. Spoilers. But the plague's killing people, and you see these. Everyone looks fine apart from the odd person who's got like a big lunar craters, welded to their face. Water, anyone, something. My children are ill. You fucking get away from your man, will you? Jesus Christ, your face looks like Kilt-Man's face. That's fucking nasty. Get back. The circus comes to town. You were wondering when I was going to get around to that, weren't you? The vampire circus. The circus of knights. That's not knights in shining armour, it's knights as in darkness. And not a big circus. Don't go expecting much. Although they have a panther and a tiger and a chimpanzee and a dwarf. A dwarf with a terrifier makeup do. Yeah. Played by Skip Martin. Skip Martin did a lot of acting as a small person. He's in Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death, the Roger Corman, Vincent Price 60s classic version with the unbelievably gorgeous Hazel Court. Oh God, that nightmare sequence. Oh dear, with that see-through gown. But Skip Martin plays the dwarf for Prince Prospero. Hop Toad, he's called in that. And he's a fucking sinister little dude in this. Forget Knick Knack from Man with the Golden Gun and all that. No, this guy and that dwarf from Don't Look Now. He's fucking sinister. And you got Dave Prowse with it, or whatever, And but it's headed up by Adrienne Corrie, Glaswegian actor, Italian father, hence Corrie, and she's another beatific vixen. And she's in charge. She's just known as Gypsy Woman. That's all she is. But you will remember her from A Clockwork Orange when Alex and his droogs do the home invasion and she's raped and murdered. Yes, with a very big phallic statue. That's Adrienne Corrie, and you see her full frontal nude in that as well. And just thinking, you don't see her nude in this. Thinking about it, she was a great friend of Kubrick's and Clockwork Orange. But she could be a real rogue on set. I don't think there's any anecdotes about her on this particularly, but she did cause issues, but only because she's a forceful and very confident personality. She wasn't a diva at all, but if she could take the piss out of you, she would take the piss out of you and tell you to your face, and then tell everybody, including your mother, what a shitbag you really are. She cared nothing for etiquette, and she's gorgeous in this. So the circus is in town. So the actors say, well, how the fuck did you get through the roadblocks? I mean, what? And they never say. they don't need to say, because they're part supernatural. Yeah, it's a vampire circus, the circus of knights. What I should have said was Count Mitterhaus, his dying breaths with a stake through his heart and all that, down in his coffin in the catacombs beneath the ruins of his castle. He says to Anna, go and find Emile, my cousin Emile. He will know what to do. Emile, right? Played by the fabulous Anthony Corlin. Anthony Corlin's not his surname. It was his mother's maiden name. But Robert Young, or whoever was in charge of this production, which probably wouldn't be Robert Young, the careerist, empire would have gone like, right. His name was actually Harris. I think it was Harris. Anthony Harris. He went like, no, change that. Yeah, Anthony Corlin. His mother's maiden name, but it does sound a bit more exotic. And he's got hair like this, to be honest. And but he's a fucking he's a dark, sultry, pretty boy, and you know, with the cummerbund on and all that, like, and the sashes and red sort of, you know, gothic billowy shirt and tight little cavalry pants and cavalry boots. He's a panther. He's a vampire and a panther. Oh yeah. Animal shape-shifting takes place in this. You have two acrobats, literally acrobats, because they fly through the air and then turn into bats in front of the crowd who are like, oh, really good. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? They become bats. That man, that panther became him. He's a panther. And we're all just going, popcorn, fuck off. What the hell? Yeah. Where's my bloody gun? And I'll be on TikTok with this, you know. They'll never believe it. They'll say it's AI. So Circus rumbles in and everyone goes to it. It's just about 3 or 4 wagons in a circle. Obviously the Indians are attacking. Circle the wagons. Save the last bullet for yourself. And all the families are sitting there. And there's a lot of people, you know, and of course all the kids of these various people that were involved in the slaying of Count Mitterhaus. And so they watch. Well, let's get on this, because let's play this bit of music. Here it is. There is a secret. Now these people are humans. This film has vampires who use humans working for them, like Dave Prowse, the strongman. He's not a vampire. Nor Skip Martin is a little dwarf. They're not vampires. They're nasty fuckers that are working for the vampires. But you have these two, and I've got to get their names right now. It's Serena and Milovan Vesnich. Milovan is the male dancer. Serena is the erotic tiger woman dancer. So the tiger. Does the tiger turn into hair? I don't think so. I'll tell you why. But you have this fabulous and very, very notorious whip and dance sequence. The male dancer, and they are real life carnival and circus dancers and acrobats, very theatrical. She's nude, with a skull cap on, painted in blue, black, and yellowy orange tiger stripes all the way across her body, her body. And there is a little tiny merkin covering up the precious little bits down here, although it's not covering much at all. And she will dance and ride, and he'll throw her in the air, and her legs will part. And if ever there was a moment to freeze frame this movie, as every schoolboy I've ever encountered has done so, it's when her legs go like that. And yeah, the best job on this movie would have been painting her body. Yeah. Are you ready yet? You know, we're gonna start shooting. This is why I ran over schedule, because there's the guy going like, yeah, just the finite stuff. It's the paint isn't settling just right. Yeah, I've got to go over it again. Yeah. Because he's sweating and drooling all over it. Yeah. Cheers, y'all. And this dance sequence is provocative. It's very, very sexualized, intensely sexualized. She gets on his back and she rips his again, they've got these billowy gothic shirts, which you guys know how much I love them. I'll be sporting one later. I'm going to go out for Halloween. Rips open his back. It's like, and he spins around above his head at high speed and all that. And you cut to, this is why I'm saying that she's not the tiger. Someone's going, you see it turn into, but I don't remember that now. You see a tiger in its cage in the wagon, and it's writhing about. It's having an orgasm right before the tiger is. You see its legs. It's lying on its side. It's absolutely having an orgasm. So it's in cahoots with her, obviously. But the thing is, we find out these people are human. They're not vampires, so they can't be shapeshifters. So I've just proved my own point, haven't I? And he walks off with her over this. She finally has an orgasm while dancing, and like collapses, and he picks her up over his shoulder. He's been using a whip and all that, like, and walks off with her over his shoulders. And everyone's like, wow, you've got kids there. This is entirely sexualized. The entire thing is like, he's just had it off with her in front of us. She's completely fucking nude apart from body paint, you know. And the kids will go, oh, wow. Father, Yes, son. Can I run away and join a circus? This one. You and me both, son. So, yeah, and then you get the acrobats. Now, the acrobats, Lala Ward plays... Is it Lala Ward? I've got to keep checking this. Lala Ward, in her first acting role, of course, she was in Doctor Who with Tom Baker. And whom did she marry? Tom Baker, the maddest doctor of them all, and the best. And they were married for about 2 years. It didn't last long, but they were together. And Lala Ward is another divine beauty. And the thing about it, they're meant to be twins, brother and sister twins, and these are the acrobats that turn into bats. You know, acrobats flying through the air. And it's, you know, it's okay. The effects are all right. This is a film that does use real bats, as well as like some animated and rotoscope ones as well. But it does use real bats in some sequences. So, you know, just put that out there. A lot of Hammer films didn't use real bats, obviously. They're just fucking rubbery things on strings, and you can fucking tell a mile away. But here we go again. We've got this tiger dance all over again. Where's it going? Where's it going with that? Oh yeah, Lala Ward said like she'd just come out of acting school or drama school. She said there was a compulsory element to that, doing acrobatics. I think she's sort of, you have to dance. I can guarantee that in drama school they'd have made you dance. I don't think they make you do fucking acrobatics. I don't think they're going to do that. But she said like I hated it, couldn't stand it. And my first actual acting job, I'm playing a fucking acrobat, so I'm bouncing off fucking trampolines and landing on boxes and stuff like. Compulsory acrobatics? Really, Lala? Really? I don't know. But she's gorgeous. And these two, they're both captivating, and you know, they entrance, you know, when they land as humans in their acrobatic costumes, and the humans are all like agog. It's this bewitching spell of the circus. It comes across through the screen, and you're enticed. Don't know about you guys, I despise circuses, despise them. I don't like animals being kept that way, being used that way, and I fucking hate clowns. And I hate the smell of sawdust. Sawdust reminds me of when kids threw up in school. You know, you'd always be walking down a corridor, you've been out for playtime, you come back in, and well, first of all, you smell, that's the unusual combination of sawdust and spew. It's a childhood horrible memory, and you'd see little mounds of like sawdust, you know, because some kids would be up chucked, and you'd see little minefields of this around, little hillocks of, you know, ochre tinted spew. So Circus says, nah, don't like him. Mary Chipperfield of the famous Chipperfield Circus was the animal trainer and wrangler for this movie. Mary Chipperfield. So, there you go. Wasn't that much of a shock, was it? Din 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 din. Anyway, look. Right. So what's going to happen now in this lengthy middle section? They're going to entice the sons and daughters of, you know, the people that were responsible for Mitterhouse's death, right? Obviously, of course. Adrienne Corrie, playing the gypsy woman, is sultry, seductive, enticing. Kids go back in, you know, after everyone's gone home, they've snuck back in again. But you have one of the patriarchs of the town, Schnabel. His daughter Rosa. Did I write her name down? Rosa. Fucking hell, I didn't do anyone's name properly at all for this. Rosa's lovely, and she falls in love. She's captivated by Emile. Emile is the Panther Man. And another little aside for you. This is Anthony Corlin. Another little aside for you. My mother was an actress. Big Kilt-Man was an actress throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, and then the concert party stuff and monologues in the 90s. And a bit later, but and chorus line stuff. Well, back in the 70s, she was acting a hell of a lot, and my dad, big Kilt Papa, he loved it and yet resented it. It took her away a lot of the time, and it was her passion. So, but there was an actor, she'd bring actors. If she's doing shows sort of in the northwest of Britain, northwest of England, they'd often come back to my mum's house, my house, and they'd rehearse lines, and they'd have little parties, buffets and that kind of shit. Like, and I was a little kid going, oh, these are film stars. Who were you? What were you in? And like, they'd reel off a load of shit which I wouldn't know. I go like, oh, that means nothing to me. Were you in King Kong? No, well. And she brought, there's this guy. He doesn't look like Anthony Corlin, but he was a rather dashing young fella, and his name was Emil. And I mean, Mum was obviously smitten with this guy's talent. She never quite said what his talent was, but she was smitten with it anyway. And my dad didn't like him. And I know my dad didn't like him. And he insists on calling him Emile. Oh, Emile! Would you like another drink? He's going, it's Emile. Oh, of course, yeah. Emile? Yeah. And he persists. And of course, even then, it's not Emile. Emily. He's like, it's Emile. And he almost like, I've got to act with him. I've got to perform with him on stage. So no wonder that my dad's a bit pissed off with this, you know. My mother's riding around on stage with Panther Boy, you know. Anyway, so all this shit's going on, and you will have people being killed. Rosa falls in love with Emile, and he's gonna put the bite on her. And again, I say, like, these people look amazing with they go, and these fangs, they are the best fangs ever, and they're really glistening and fucking sharp. And like, he's going to do it. He's just bedded there in his panther cage. Don't forget, he's Count Meterhouse's cousin, so he's kith and kin to Count Meterhouse. He's not just a fucking panther in a cage. That's just for show. But it's great that he's got that skill to be able to do that. Don't forget, Bram Stoker wrote that Dracula could transform into different animals, or a mist, but wolves especially. So it's nice that this film brings back that sort of original idea for vampirism, that they're able to bend time and shapeshift and do all sorts. Just can't be about the daylight, and they're terrified of fucking crosses. You know, we've all got our cross to bear, haven't we? But he's going to put the bite on it, and Adrienne Corrie, the gypsy woman, goes like, Emile, not now. I don't know why not now, but basically they're going to lure everybody in, all the kids and the parents, and like fucking do them all in, which is what they do. So I'm going to get everything mixed up now. But is it the doctor's? No, the doctor has a daughter. Somebody has two sons who creep in, and Adrienne Corrie, gypsy woman, finds them. Oh, young boys. I know. She turns to Bela Lugosi for a second there. Do your parents know you're out? And they're going like, well, oh, no matter. You know, you want to see the mirror of life. They've got like the TARDIS again, Lalla Ward perhaps. They've got like a wagon which is the mirror of light. But when you go in, it's a fucking huge room with curtains and drapes and mirrors, and it's those magic mirrors. Again, these are fucking shit, aren't they? Where like, oh, you've got like a massive long middle section, a little tiny head, and little tiny feet, and then you've got a big fat face. In my case, that's a fucking normal mirror. But all them the silly mirror things, they're rubbish. They're the worst thing in any carnival or attraction or fun fair. Oh, the fucking hall of mirrors, fucking hell. But these, they're all laughing and joking, and then they see in the mirror the twins, the acrobats, are behind them, in the mirror image. So look behind, they're not there. They have no reflection, and of course these two suddenly appear out of the mirror, and it's done really well. Cinematography is done by, did I write this down? Yeah, Murray Grant. He is a Scotsman, and he actually did The Vampire Lovers and I, Monster as well. I, Monster, which had Thorley Walters in, I think. But the way the mise-en-scene, the art direction, and the actual physical direction are really, really good in this movie. It's a very visual, powerful, potent image at all times. And they seduce these two young boys. the twins, that is, the Lalla Ward and the other guy. They don't look very much alike, but you know, they're twins. And they, do you want to see how it's done? How the magic mirror works? And they both hook one of the boys under their chins like that, and it lift them up, and they spin round in like sort of a black, nightmarish limbo land, a fairy tale airborne world. And it reminds me a lot of Interview the Vampire, where Tom Cruise first puts the bite on Brad Pitt and lifts him up, and you know, and then fucking drops him, obviously, like, I'm going to give you the choice I never had. You know, all that kind of shit, like. But this is horrible, because they end up in that crypt, that catacomb, where Mitterhouse is in his coffin with his fucking stake, and one of the lads, fucking, they put the bite on it. It's fucking horrible, mate. It really, fucking drops it. The other lad runs away, but then the two of them come for him, and then you get Lalla Ward. There's the famous image of Lalla Ward as the acrobat vampire coming in with put the bite on him, and they come into the camera. It's a very 70s sort of effect, but they come, and it kind of freeze frames and goes to a red screen, a red imprint of them in like sort of black shadow against the red background. And they fucking killed that lad as well. But you can't get around the fact that the whole seduction, abduction is very sexualized, and you know, you can't get around that. That's what I'm saying. You would struggle to make this movie now. And again, that quote comes back to me. This film set standards in the horror genre that many feel have yet to be equalled. I go along with that. I totally go along with that. And I got them fucking dancing again. Yeah. The tiger dance. It's not a great big long score for this movie. Don't go thinking it's massively lavish and fully orchestral. There's a lot of samey same stuff. But this element of getting the kids, it's horrible. And you've seen how Mitterhouse was obviously, he got that little girl at the start of the movie, and then we learn he's obviously took other kids as well. But he's also seducing, you know, this woman at the same time. And my notes have just disappeared off the screen. How fucking double dare you? Oh, it doesn't matter. What the hell? What the hell does it matter? So, I don't know if you can hear the screaming in the background. We actually have some screaming in the background. It's magpies. You can hear that. We have a host of magpies in the trees on our land, and my God, the noise out of those motherfuckers. They're cackling and laughing and they're hissing, and they're really, really vocal. And we have foxes too. Foxes. Yeah, the noise that foxes make. It sounds almost human, like an anguished human baby wailing in the night. And you're like, oh, it's like, and then they chatter, and then they know they woke you up and they frightened you, and you kind of like go out and investigate. And then you hear the foxes kind of laughing. They make a kind of laugh as well. And then the magpies start laughing too, and you go, oh, you bastard, you almost got me there. Fuck you. The wildlife, mate. David Attenborough. You know nothing. You know nothing. Come round the Kilt Mansion. Fucking hell, I'll show you the fucking wildlife round here, mate. Anyway, so those two kids have been killed. I think Thorley Walters, as well as the Burgermeister, walks into the hall of the mirrors of life, whatever they call it. And he sees an image of Count Mitterhouse, like saying, your children will die. Everyone will die. I will live again. Oh, fucking whatever. Like, and he comes out, he's like, he's having a terrible time. Like, and in the meantime, the doctor, no, not the doctor, the teacher, Muller, his daughter, Dora, has come back. Oh, I've missed a bit out. I fucking missed a bit out. There's a family that want to escape. They've lost, I think it's their daughter that you see get killed at the start of the movie in the pre-credit sequence. And Skip Martin, the dwarf, has already made a little deal with him. Right, okay, you know, I can get you through the woods, I can get you past all the roadblocks and the guards and all that. Like, so it's like the three men, the father, the mother, they've lost their daughter, and I think the mother-in-law tag along, and they're all knackered going through Blackwood, and Skip Martin goes like, right, you know, I've got you past all the guards now. Well, what do you want? You can't just leave us here, because everyone's like, all knackered. He said, pay me, just pay me. So they pay him, and he goes off, and he's smirked under his grease paint, his horrible fucking twisty clown, fucking terrifier face paint. And you hear growling in the woods, and Emil's obviously hungry, and as a panther, he goes and fucking rips these people to shreds. And yeah, this has been cut down. I mean, not by censors, they just didn't show it. But there's a fair bit of blood splattering on leaves and screaming and like chomping. So they've been killed by Emil. And then you get Dora, who's the teacher's daughter, who he'd sent away way before this began, when obviously the plague was taking on, like, send you out of town, go to safety before all the shit breaks loose. And she's come back, but she's being chased by the roadblock guards, and she's hiding in all the ferns and the shrubs and all that, like. And she comes across the remains of all this family, and there's fucking limbs there, there's a head hanging there, there's fucking eyeballs with like ripped out and all that. It's flash cuts, but it's still pretty effective. And she's got, because you see the boots of these soldiers coming down like, she's got away. Shame now. Quite fit there, wasn't she? Yeah. We could have done something there, couldn't we? Yes, we could. And like, off they go. And she gets into the town. Now, her boyfriend is Anton. Anton, who is the teacher. Oh, see what I mean? It's so fucking hard. Who's connected to who? Anton is the 18-year-old who looks like Horst Janssen, who plays Captain Kronos. That one, that lad, right? And now he's going to start playing a major part in this now. Because Dora, who's the daughter Dora, the explorer, they're together. They're an item. So they're back, But they keep watching these fucking shows at night, and they realise that's the duck. We need to get her. Right, I'm going to tell you something right now. Adrienne Corrie, the gypsy woman, is a shape-shifted version of Anna. Anna didn't die. She may have run the gauntlet and been whipped and beaten and all that, but she escaped and dragged the Count down to his coffin in the catacombs. More fool the villagers for not checking, should have checked, and she has gone to meet Emil and brought Emil and the travelling circus into town to get revenge. All these years later, she's had twins, the twin acrobats, Lala Ward and the other guy. They're her daughters, but she's actually Anna. So, and they have their own daughter, Dora, right? All right, see, it's fucking confusing. It's like a bloody soap opera wrapped into like one little tiny movie. And oh my god. So Emil and Mitterhaus demand that Dora gets killed. Obviously Adrienne Corrie, the gypsy woman, knows I've got two kids here who are vampires, but this, and yet she's not a vampire. You see how it's mixed up, this. You've got humans and you've got vampires, and a lot of humans work with the vampires. And you've got shapeshifters, and you've got Adrienne Corrie playing gypsy woman who's been bitten and shagged Count Mitterhaus and given birth to his two twin. Oh, of course, that's why they're vampires. They're his fucking kid. Oh yeah, okay. Proving again that these vampires are having rumpy pumpy and delivering their fucking seed, their satanic seed. You don't get that in any other vampire movie that I can think of off the top of my head. And but she's like, no, she doesn't want to kill Dora because that's her real human daughter. Still has some affiliation there. Hates her husband though, Cheers, y'all. Oh, I'm running out of this stuff now. Adrienne Corrie is great. She's really lusty, zesty, and teasing. And swarthy. They've given her that gypsy look and a dark eyeshadow, and she looks pure Romany, and you'd fall under her spell without any shadow of a doubt. Anyway, so Rosa and fucking Emil and various people are getting fucking coerced and all this. Let's speed things up here. We're gonna rapidly come to a really chaotic final third of this movie. The kids are going missing. Those two lads are gone missing, and so what? The villagers go and fucking attack the circus. They grab Skip Martin, the little dwarf, and he's like his little legs, and they fucking smash his head against one of the wagons. Bang, bang, bang. You're right. One more. Bang, and they're fucking beating him up and all that. Like he's it's fucking horrible. And like Gypsy Woman's going, Adrienne Corrie's going, like, hey, you know, what are you doing? You know, you always blame us. You always blame the gypsies and blah 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 blah. And then you hear someone going, I found them. I found the boys. And it's like, so they all run off. The mum and dad, dead jaunty. Oh yeah, and there they are. And they're fucking drained of blood with really horrible pustular fucking huge big woundy things, all grey and black and bloody puncture wounds lying together. It's actually quite a grim sight, to be honest. But then above, the catacombs, and like one guy says, like, and the poor father does this horrible wailing, and all this kind of stuff, like, and one of the locals says, like, it's the Count. He said he'd come back, he'd curse us, and we'd all die. And, I've heard noises in the castle and here. And, well, they're like, oh, fuck off, whatever, bullshit, And then, but the weird thing is, they're all at the circus that following night. And there's acrobats are flying around and people are changing into tigers and pandas and fucking all sorts, like. And everyone's like, hey, what? Oh, you forgot about the kids who've just been fucking found. And so-and-so's had a heart attack and, shit, like. Anyway, more shit happens. So the men folk are, all right, fuck this. Grab our muskets and our flintlock pistols and we're going to kill those animals. Because Dora's come back. I should have said Dora's come back and she says, I found the bodies of blah, 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 and blah, blah, all ripped to shreds. It's the circus animals. It's them. So they go and fucking kill the chimpanzee, the tiger, and they fucking shoot them, like, and they go to shoot the panther. And as he fires, the panther disappears, leaps through the air, and becomes Emil. And Emil's like, so he goes, shoots Emil. Emil just goes, whatever. And then it's Thorley Walters, and he has a heart attack at that stage. That's right, he has a heart attack then. And snuffs it right then and there. Doesn't get bitten, but he gets just heart packs up. And so what happens next? What are they going to do then? Oh yeah, the acrobats put the enticing mesmerist there and telepathically call to Anton and Dora. Don't forget they're an item. Like, you guys come with us. So they lure them into the that super existential, pure paradigm shifting wagon that is the Hall of Mirrors and the Mirrors of Life, I should say, which is much bigger on the inside. It's ridiculous. So and they're seeing these things and like they're laughing at these mirror images. Oh, I'm fucking 18-bit tall and I've got pencil arms. Fuck off. And then but he separates from her and she sees that magic mirror where they're in it and they're not behind it, like, what the hell? And then suddenly she gets dragged through the mirror and he's like, Dora! And the mirror he bounces off his own reflection. Oh, fucking hell. What? And they take her down. No, hang on. How's this happen? They're going to put the bite on her. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're going to put the bite. And they rip her top open. And she's got a fucking cross. And they're like, ah! God damn it. Ah, you bastard. So she gets to... Anton will find her because they obviously can't fulfill the deed because they can't go near the cross. So he takes her back to this weird house. This house, right? I don't get this at all. They get in the house and he's like, he's there jumpy and all that. And she can't remember what really happened. She's like, I don't know. It'll come to me. And he's like, oh, and he hear like, oh, there's all noises upstairs. And he jumps and he goes, He goes, what's that? Oh, they're the students. You know, the students in the board. They're boarding here. You're in a lovely lavish sitting room of obviously what seems to be her mum and dad's house. See what I mean? It's confusing and chaotic. So that's your house then. And he's your boyfriend, and he didn't know about they have boarders upstairs. Quite a lot of them, by the sound of things. All girls laughing and joking and tittering, having pillow fights and having lesbian sex and all that, probably. And so he's like, oh, it's what's happened there. I'm getting very jumpy. I'll need you to protect me, he says to her. Fucking fat chance of that one. And the her mum and dad. Oh, do you know what? Again, sorry folks. I think they give her a crucifix. She already wore one. Did I get it? I can't remember. Look, the crucifix thing. We now know that Gypsy Woman is the mother of Dora, right? Oh, fuck, you know what I mean? And Emil says to her, like, no, we must. You must take that crucifix off her neck, and we must kill her. And she's like, you can tell because that's still her blood, that's still her daughter. So she's still like, and I love your cousin, you know, but I really, you know, I've got my own 2 vampire kids here, but you know, blah de blah. Can I really do this? Crisis of conscience. And they amass outside, the 2 acrobats, Emil and Adrienne Corrie, the Gypsy Woman, and they hear laughter upstairs. You don't see these girls at all. You don't see them at all. But this building is so strange. It's a mansion house. It's got a boarding house. It's also got a fucking church next to it. You've seen early on a Greek Orthodox priest on, you know, the death cart of all the plague victims early on. You've seen him lying there in all his fucking castles and that big silly fucking stupid black hat thing, you know, and he's on the death cart. God didn't help him, did he? And but it's got a church attached to it, right attached to it. You go through one door and you're into the fucking church. I don't know how this fucking thing works. It's almost like Lovecraftian geometry. And anyway, so Emil and Co are outside, and they hear the laughter of the girls upstairs, and she just goes, I'll fucking kill them all or whatever. And in a really great shot, he gets in. You see like a Michael Myers Haddonfield image of a windows open and the curtains billowing. He's obviously got through, and he watches Anton and Dora. He's watching them. They haven't noticed him at all. They haven't seen him or heard him. And he just smirks, looks upstairs. I'm going to kill all those bitches up there. And the camera pans down to his feet, and what a grand camera work. And you see his feet, his cavalry boots walk up the stairs, and they become in a really seamless shot the feet of the panther. It's great. It's so well done. It's like, wow, that's really, really impressive. And then you hear like screams, and he's like, fucking hell, this is Anton. It's like, shit, I'm gonna have to go up there and see what's going on. And of course he gets up there and everyone's been ripped to shreds. In the meantime, what happens? What genuinely happens downstairs? I think Emil tries to put the bite on Dora. Whatever happens, they fail. The vampires fail in that attack. They get scared off because all the men folk arrive as well. Right, that's it then. Bar the doors. We're going to the circus. We're going to kill everybody there. Everyone, you know, bear in mind, some of them are human, but some of them are vampires. We've got to fucking do this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Should have said, Anton's father's come back now with soldiers. They've got through the roadblock. They've met the Emperor. I did get Emperor of France. I did get Emperor of, not France, it's fucking Serbia. What Emperor was that then? And they've come up with medicine. And he says, like, look, it's bubonic plague, spread by bats, but they're vampire bats. He says, I didn't believe you before, these stories about the vampires, but you didn't. He dismissed it all. But he said, like, I've seen evidence of it in all the villages I've gone through. And everywhere they've had this sort of attack, this sort of plague, and people have been vampirized. And it's everywhere that I've been. The Circus of Nights has been there as well. So it's all to do with that. So you're all right. Let's go kill some vampires. So you've got this big fucking mob. And they get there. And like Dora, here's a fucking big cross. Just keep that, blah, blah, blah. No, I am wrong again. The bit I was going to say, the bit I should have mentioned was in that attack on the house, the twins go for Dora, and I think Emil and Anton have some off-screen sort of tussly thing going on. Again, the sequences which are not in this, which haven't been filmed. Dora legs it from the twins, the acrobatic twins, Lala Ward and her mate, and she goes through a door into the fucking church, and the church set is incredible. It's really right behind me. We have our cemetery, the big boneyard, the graveyard I used to walk our dog in, and you guys know all this. We back onto a huge, very gothic cemetery, very old, and it's beautiful, fantastic. And in it, we have a Greek Orthodox church, not Greek, Russian Orthodox church. Okay, now, and my dog used to get in there because when they have their masses, their meetings, their whatever, they put loads of food on, loads of food. So the dog always the dog was always dead interested. Open doorways, she'd be in like a shot. And the amount of times that she got in there, and the congregation and the priest loved her. She got away with murder. They have tons of stained glass and lots of tapestries and weird, I don't know what these things are meant to represent, I don't know. But they have candles and like those swinging incense things. Look like a golden version of the Phantasm fucking sphere. They're hanging there, you know, and all incense coming out of them. But they have these super tall, very spindly, very flimsy looking candle holders, which are about maybe 5 feet tall, with candles on them. And of course the dog would go in and you know that spinning plates thing, which you see in circuses. The spinning plates around on different sticks and all that, like trying to keep them all going. I'd be like that, trying to stop these fucking things from falling over, because the dog's skipping people. Oh, another, fuck yeah, what's Russian food? I don't know. Let's just call it goulash. I know that's Hungarian, but you know, I should be leaping on tables and, oh, you've got a butty there. And everyone loved it. But I'm trying to stop these, you know, obviously priceless fucking religious artifacts from crashing on the floor and being destroyed. Anyway, the church in this looks just like the church that's in our cemetery. And they're menacing her, and she goes up some stairs. Oh yeah, Anton comes running in, like, and he gets a fucking backhand, boof, gets knocked to the deck, like, and they're just gonna put the bite on him. But what happens is, she gets up on one of the rafters, a great big wooden rafter, and Lala Ward's there, like, you know, and you can tell she's thinking, like, yeah, I'm an acrobat, I can just jump up there. I can become a bat and get you anyway. I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. And she's just like, ha ha ha. And then as she watches it go across the rafter, there's a great big fucking golden crucifix there, and she goes, ah! You didn't clock that first of all, like, you know. When you go in, if you're going to attack any establishments, you've got to be aware of what's going to be in there, which could, you know, become a potential death trap for yourself. So always look at your exits, always look at, you know, you escape route A, B, C, D, have plenty of them, like, or just backtrack. So be aware, as soon as you get in there, be aware, check everything out. These fucking vampires, idiots. There's a great big fucking 6-foot crucifix on top of this rafter, and like, she goes, ah, ah. So Dora goes, ha ha, bitch. And she goes, oh, like, don't do it. You could move. You could move, become a bat and fly out. But no, doesn't. Just stands there. Crucifix comes fucking ramming down through her chest. Down to the deck she goes. And because supernaturally they're connected, they're twins, her brother, her sibling, just goes, is about to kill Anton. Just goes, turns around, and he's got a great big gaping wound. Jesse Ventura, Blaine. No powder wounds, no shrapnel, you know, no powder burns, no shrapnel. The wounds all fused and cauterized, you know, from Predator. He's got a great big fucking gaping hole in his chest like that. And he dies in cahoots with her. And the two of them like lie together like that. And I think Emil and the gypsy woman come in and they see this, fucking whatever. Anyway, they flee. Then the men all get their stuff together. Right, Dora's there with some other woman who like, can't remember who she is. She's a wife of somebody or other. But anyway, you two stay here, bar the door. We're gonna find Meter House and the gypsy woman and fucking hell, we're gonna kill everybody. Something like that anyway. And but they got, so she puts the the big sort of, what do you call it, the barricade thing, big shutter thing down on the doors. But someone's smashing the doors, and you think, oh, the vampires are back. And you go, oh no, it's Big Dave Prowse. He's using his muscles. He's fucking battering, and he comes through, and he's got good hair in this as well. You know, it's very sort of Buster Crabbe from the vintage Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. Only he's got a bit more of a mullet going down the back, but he's got a great big curly sort of side plume going on. He looks good, I know, and he's really the peak of his fitness, and he lumbers in like that. He doesn't say a fucking word, and the woman's going like, she's protecting the door, and they've got a big crucifix, and she's going like, go back to them, leave us, please leave us. And she stands up and puts a cross towards him like that, and he just goes, crushes it, and then he walks into the camera like and obviously he's took the two of them. So you're then going to get this, if all that was chaotic enough, you've got an even more chaotic climax down in the catacombs. I've got no chance with this one, no chance at all. I defy anyone to be able to go through this and tell it accurately. Our boys are, they've been kidnapped and took in the catacombs. Emil and Gypsy Woman are there. Can't meet else is there. And everyone who gets killed, their blood's dripping onto his chest to give him life. I will say right now, isn't it established that they got a stake through the heart? Take it out and they come back. Why don't our mob do that at all? No, reenact the curse, obviously, but they could just, look, here he is, take the fucking stake out, he's going to come back to life again. And they can still, get their revenge on the village and go about their vampiric ways, But no one does it. They keep dripping blood from ripped out throats onto his chest. And his decayed sort of special effect makeup, suddenly he's lesser and lesser, he's just a bit more grey and cadaverish, and then suddenly he's like, ooh, he's vibrant and alive again. Well, he will be alive again. You knew that. Yeah, that was coming, obviously, wasn't it? So, they meet Dave Prowse in the circus ring, and they go, we don't need to kill you, you're working for them, just tell us where they are, and we'll spare you. And Dave Prowse just goes and walks towards him, and the exit wound, it's like a fucking mortar's gone off inside his chest. His back just goes, fuck off. And he goes, and you see his fillings. And down he goes. And the mob attack his body on the deck. Now you don't see this, but pitchforks, flaming torches, and like fucking rifle butts, and the knives, and they're fucking destroying him. God, it brings to mind the end of Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, where Dave Prowse, playing the monster, the big ape simian-like throwback monster, gets ripped apart by all the other inmates of the insane asylum, and they're all pulling chunks of flesh out of him, and he's just a mess on the floor, like one of them jumpers out of the World Trade Center. And it's like, oh my God, overkill! A minute ago you're going to let him off, and now you fucking rip him to shreds. Jesus Christ! And so then they got to find the catacombs. Right, the noises came from under where they found the two lads draining the blood. The noises come from under here. We'll fucking burst our way in through the tombstone and get in. Very Lucio Fulci style as well. This catacomb is wonderfully produced. And there's all skeletons and things in there, and there's bodies hanging in like spider webs. It's really gothic excess, really horrible. It reminds me a lot of Anthropophagus the Beast. Yeah, you know the one. But the catacombs in that, which are real catacombs, the catacombs in Nosferatu, Werner Herzog's version, and a lot of Lucio Fulci movies like House by the Cemetery, and obviously The Beyond, and just. It looks very Italiano, very spaghetti nasty stuff. I'm preempting it, of course. by a good few years. So everyone contrives to end up in here. Dora and the woman who's looking after it are both there. They rip the protecting woman's throat out and pour air blood in and all that, like whatever. And they're going to put the bite on Dora. And what happens is Emil's going to put the bite on Dora. And at the last minute, and it's quite weird the way he does it. She's facing us, and he's behind her, and he pulls her head down like that, and he comes up from behind, rather than the typical archetypal look where they're face to face, turn their head and go in the jugulars there. He's come from behind, and they're going, it's impressive as hell. But his mother, her mother, Adrienne Corrie, gypsy woman, at the last minute just goes, no, and pulls her real life daughter out her human daughter out the way, and he then bites her neck by mistake, and her blood goes onto the fucking Count Meter house as well. And Emil's like, the fuck? But Dora's passed out. Anton gets in there. Anton fights with him. Then the soldiers get in, and they've got a crossbow. Fires a crossbow into him. Just goes, fucking takes it out. Soldier goes through him. He fucking stabs the soldier through. He kills another one. He then fights the teacher, whose wife was Anna from the start of the movie. Remember Anna? Gorgeous Anna. And she's also the gypsy woman. She's transformed into the gypsy woman. And our teacher has seen her face transform into his own wife. So he knows that's her. And as he's fighting Emil's trying to put a bite on him. He grabs the stake. Remember the stake in Count Meter House's heart? Grabs that. And as Emil does bite him, he fucking runs him through. And Anthony Corliss does Colin does a great sort of like with his fangs and all. It's like he's really overplaying it, but he does it really well. It's like he's stunned, and he stumbles back, and it's a great big theatrical stage bound death. Crumples on the stairs like that. You've now got, there's bodies everywhere. This fucking catacomb is an abattoir. There's about 20 people lying dead in there, throats ripped out and staked and shot and fucking all sorts. Like, and then Anton and Dora, come on, and like her dad is now dead as well, and because Emil put the bite on him. Shouldn't he become a vampire though? Should he not? Yes, the kids didn't become vampires because they were drained of blood. Again, it's not explained, but hey, what it is. Anyway, Count Meter House is now alive. Timothy Dalton wannabe. The stake's been pulled out. Enough blood's gone onto his chest. He's like, I'm alive. And then that David De Kaiser's voice comes in again, like, I said I'd be back, you motherfuckers. Whatever. And so they have a bit of a scrap, and he looks super sinister in his big gothic girly shirt and all that, like, and he's coming to the great fucking fangs again, like, and what Anton picks up the crossbow, which has got like, so you've got the string, you cock the string, and you've got the cross, and you've got a cross, a big metallic cross which seals the unit together. Does that. And in this film, whenever there's a cross used against these vampires, it fucking glows with Michael Mann Keep style, electro bazaars, nice and bright, and they go, ah! And of course, so he does that, and it glows, and Meter House is like, hey, and in a crazy kill, but it's a great kill though. Anton manages to put the fucking the crossbow, the bow itself, around Meter House's neck, but he's got the fucking the drawstring on the other side, so he pulls the trigger, and the drawstring goes right through his fucking neck, and it's a great effect. You see the beginnings of his head go, and you see all the trachea and the spine and blood like that. Quick shot, and then his head. And it's a great looking facsimile of what's his name again? Richard Taman, I think it is. Robert Taman, whatever. Captain Meathouse's head flies into his own coffin again. Blah, blah. And there's all blood coming out and all that. And you see another shot of it. It's a nice gory payoff. And then, you know, the soldiers and everyone else gets in there. Right, we've saved you. Come on, get out of there. And like, it's all dead. Everything's, the vampires are gone. The humans are gone. Oh, I've missed someone out. Fucking Skip Martin. How'd you miss him out? A little oversight there on my part. I overlooked him. When Anton finds a cave, all these people dig down through the catacombs, the graves to get in there. He finds a cave because he hears Dora screaming and squealing and all this kind of stuff. So he finds a way in there. Fucking little clown dwarf fucking leaps on it like, ah, and he has a big mad tussle with him. And Skip Martin fucking headbutts him. You know, he had his head rammed into the back of a wagon. He's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking get my own back on you, you cunt. Bang! He's like, oh. He does do this, like, but then as they're fighting, he throws him, and it's kind of a wimpy sort of death for this little twat. And he hits the rocky wall and he falls down, and clearly his neck's meant to be broken as he's falling against these rocks. And it's a very swift payoff for him. But and then you get all the what happens afterwards. So they took him out as well. I'm sorry I forgot to mention him, you know, but he's a great little character. There's an earlier scene. Because he's always laughing, except when he's getting his head smashed in, like, and all that. And he's like, ha 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 ha, and it's that black and white sort of diamond fucking makeup that he wears, like the Terrifier. He does this in close up, and he pulls seemingly his face off, and to reveal that his face underneath is just the same, ha 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 ha, and you're like, oh, you little creep. Fuck off. Come on, kick your ass, little shitbag. And like, he's really, really good. Just wish his payoff was a bit better. But he just put the fucking noggin on though, like, on Anton. Yeah, you think you're Horst Janssen? You think you're Captain Kronos, do you? Fuck off, you know. Take that, you bastard. And so they all get out and all this. And then in a crazy, they come up for the collapsed tombstone thing they broke through. They come out and all the villagers then got the typical, you know, flaming torches, and they all throw them down. Hang on, aren't all your relatives down there? All your kith and kin? The bodies of your loved ones are down there. Maybe they're doing it, they don't say it, but maybe they're doing it because, well, they've all been bitten, they could come back as vampires, let's just fucking be done with it, let's burn a fucking lot of them. What's going to burn down there? It's a fucking stone crypt. You know, you throw flames into it. You know, there might be old parchment in there, but, you know, cloth and stuff. But it's not going to ignite. But anyway, they do it. So they're all, it's over now, it's over. And then you hear, as an animated bat, having used real ones in the movie, they then resort for the final shot, an animated bat going very jerkily. It's almost like, it's like animation with stop motion animation. Like Ray Harryhausen drew it, but he put little staggery little movements. The back goes into the night, and they're like that. So obviously it's like someone's escaped, or was it just a normal bat? Folks, Vampire Circus, despite the mangling, the horrific mangling I've just done of it there, is excellent fun. It is dark, depraved. It breaks so many taboos you wouldn't believe. It even creates taboos just so it can break them. It's immensely colourful. It's a powerfully visual film. The art direction is outstanding. The use of the exteriors in Blackwood are brilliant. You have genuine fear and excitement. There's swashbuckling elements to it. There's a real sadistic bent to it, with like the little dwarf, the whole manipulation and abduction of children to be slain, the sexualization of many of the sequences, and younger people being involved in them as well. It's troubling, but it works. You know, it's about revenge. It's about satanic, demonic revenge, and you know, obviously, if you're of that ilk, then you know, you don't care. You've got no morals at all, have you? The gore is pretty damn good. Is it Les Bowie did the effects? Les Bowie, I'm sure. Yeah, Les Bowie does the effects for this. The transitions, the leap from Panther to Panther leaps into the air, just out of frame, split-second editing, and then Emil lands. Very good. Dead simple, but very, very good. Emil changing from his boots going up the stairs to the Panther's paws and legs going up the stairs was really, really, really good. Loads of great shots of people against like stained glass windows. There's an element, there's a moment where a man and a woman, I'm not even sure who the characters are now, I can't remember. It might be the teacher, it might be the doctor, I don't know. And they're stood against a very orange tinted, because the sun's obviously coming through it, like stained glass window with all great woodwork, and you know it's warm, and the light of this stained glass, it looks truly impressive, truly incredible. The acting is pretty great. You know, a lot of these characters, you've seen Thorley Walters before, you'd seen Adrienne Corrie before, you'd see a lot more of Lalla Ward, Anthony Corlin, yeah, you'd see him in other stuff as well. A few of these faces you'd recognise, but they were not, apart from Thorley Walters, they were not. Lynn Frederick plays, hang on, who does she play? Yeah, she's Dora. I should have said that. Lynn Frederick plays Dora, and she'd been in a lot of other things afterwards. Again, very pretty girl. But they're all immensely gorgeous, and even the fucking fellas are fucking gorgeous as well. Like apart from the whiskey swilling old soaks with all their fucking blotchy faces. Kilt-Man, we got a part for you. It's a new Hammer version. It's a new version of Vampire Circus. We want you to be, and I'd be thinking, Emil, obviously, Emil. Yeah, no, one of the old fucking peasant soaks who just drink whiskey all the time. It's all bloodshot and blotchy. Well, cheers for that. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah. Oh, you can wear your kilt though. Oh, fuck you. Yeah. Cheers, you all. But here's that fucking tiger dance again. I have a life-size tiger. Some of you can cast your minds back. It's been in videos before, and I bedeck it across here. It's life-size. It's lying down. It looks totally real. It's wonderful. It was a prize in a raffle, which nobody wanted. If I remember rightly, nobody fucking wanted it. And the wife went, "Shit, we've got this massive life-size tiger. Nobody wants it. It's too scary and it's just too big." And I went, "We'll have it! We'll have it!" It lives upstairs on the landing. We've got a big Welsh dresser, and it's poised in front of that. And but it's really big. And the thing is, if I bring it down, the thing is caked in dust, like a lot of the Kilt-Man is caked in archaic dust. If I moved it around the house, then my son and my wife have massive dust allergies, and they'd be sneezing till hell freezes over. So I didn't bring it down. I would have brought it down. It would have been great. I could have carried it over my shoulders, like I just defeated Tiger Woman, and reduced it to orgasmic, throes of ecstasy. Folks, Vampire Circus is brilliant. Brilliant. I don't know anyone else that really lavishes so much praise on it as I am doing. But it does what you want. It's colourful, it's a romp, it's an adventure, it's kind of swashbuckling at some degrees. It's very sadistic, it's very nasty, it's gory, it's graphic, lots of nudie bits. Don't forget, at this time you'd had Lust for a Vampire and Twins of Evil, so a lot of Hammer was pushing things in that direction, and this again goes even further again. Although it swaps lesbianism for bringing kids into it, so there's and that remains a troubling aspect. But it's part and parcel of, it's not exploitation, it's part and parcel of what the story is. Your children will die, you will die, you will all die to give me back my life. Isn't it always the way, these like Dracula, he gets resurrected for like a day and a night, and then he's fucking vanquished again. Oh, fucking hell. If you look at the entire cycle of the Hammer's Dracula movies, it's what a piss poor fucking existence that is. You know, the start of it's great. You know, Dracula and Dracula Prince of Darkness is pretty fine. Again, big resurrection there. But from that point onwards, he'll be awake. You know, put the bite on a couple of people, and then he'll be staked again, or have a fucking cartwheel driven through him, or go under a frozen moat, you know, whatever. You know, it just, what's that? I'd be like, oh, don't, some devotee, some devil's disciple, oh, there he is, let's resurrect him, let's get some Caroline Munro, hang her upside down, and well, let's just hang her upside down, and just watch for a bit. And we're going to pour blood, and we're going to bring him back to life. And if you were Dracula, you'd be going, oh, don't fucking bother, mate, look, don't bother. You're all gonna die. I'm gonna die again. Oh, fuck. I'm just shut the lid. I'm staying here. Turns his satanic phone off. You know, fuck that. Yeah. Oh, vibrate. Well, have some excitement about him in this coffin. Put it under your spine. Oh, hey. There is great imagery from this movie, which was very famous and infamous, of Adrienne Corrie and Anthony Corlin, so Gypsy Woman and Emile, with Dora, who's the daughter of Adrienne Corrie in the movie, draped over a coffin, Calamity Das's coffin, and the publicity image is in 1,000,001 books and magazines from the time. The Hammer House of Horror, or Halls of Horror magazine, all the Dennis Gifford and Alan Frank and all the other people that wrote these big books in the 60s and 70s, big coffee table tomes, and it's of the daughter drenched, her throat is ripped out and she's drenched in gore, and you've got Adrienne Corrie and you've got Anthony Corlin leaning over like dead sort of a bit like H.G. Lewis, Herschel Gordon Lewis, you know, 2000 Maniacs and fucking Blood Feast and all that kind of shit, like all these grinning rednecks who are committing atrocities. It looks like that. It's really nasty. Now, that you don't see that angle in the movie. What you see is in the Hall of Mirrors. And like, the father sees, or is it Anton that sees, or whoever sees it, they see Dora, but it's from a different angle, but it's that shot, just from a different angle. So, but that shot was used in so many books and magazines, and it really looks horrible. And I think a lot of Hammer fans don't like this one because it is a bit more out there. It's a bit nastier. Its intent is far more sadistic, far less gothic, far less romantic. A lot of sex in it, but it's not like a gothic sort of romance. It's not very sensual. It's fucking right on ribald rampantness, very animalistic. And you know, I like that. That appeals to me even more. But I love this movie. As you've now witnessed, it's very, very hard to discuss it in as much detail as I tend to go through, because with scenes that are missing, not cut out, just never filmed because it is pulled the plug. It kind of rushes along and stumbles, and then rushes again, and stumbles and rushes again. But what you've got is still, you know, a rip-roaring, Hammer, excessive, graphic, blood-soaked yarn of vampirism and carnivalism, you know. And the evil, sinister stuff and circuses go hand in, you know, in hand. And apart from them clowns, obviously clowns transcend it all. You know, you fucking clowns coming here like here with that bucket of confetti, and you go, fuck off. Oh, I'm gonna be so rude of you. You know, take your fucking big red nose and fucking squirty flower out of here. And they're trying to walk off, and then, oh, fucking you. The big fucking floppy boots. Go get back in your car with the extra 20 of you. Try and pile it out and fuck off. Hate clowns. Hate them. They're not funny in the least. They're not funny. They're not big. They're not clever. They are fucking scary though. And they know it, don't they? Right. I think I've covered this enough. It's took a while. It's Halloween. It's now pissing down outside. This rain is coming down. It's meant to last throughout the entire evening. The wind's meant to pick up. Don't mind the wind. It's autumn. It's Halloween. You want the wind. Oh, the haunted cat is there now. About to cause merry mayhem behind me. Did she turn this round? Did she somehow? Because that wasn't facing the other way a minute ago. I'm sure it wasn't. Okay, now. Anyway, yeah, check it out. I've reviewed it before for AB Forums in one, I think the American Vinegar Syndrome version. What are you doing? It's worse than a wicked dwarf, isn't it? A clown-faced dwarf causing mischief and mayhem in the background. Fucking cat. You can see bits of it now flickering around with evil intent. Mischief on his little moggy mind. But yeah, check it out, folks, and enjoy the rest of Halloween. I may be back with something else later. I don't know. Halloween used to be a lot more peaceful. Halloween used to be parties for us in the Kilt Mansion, and even in other dwelling places we've had. We haven't done it. I haven't had a party for a long time. I've got a sneaking suspicion that all I'm going to do is just maybe put a mask on and just go around the local boozers. And I think that could be enough, really, don't you? Anyway, cheers, y'all. Check this film out. You know, it's not revered as one of Hammer's most glorious moments. It isn't. I don't know any Hammer actor. Oh, I love Vampire Circus. They never talk about it. Well, I fucking do. So, Vampire Circus kicks ass. Emile, or Emile, or Emily, as my dad would undoubtedly have called him. My mum brought him in. I'd be like, oh, another one of these bloody pretty boys. I hate some of those. Where's my blunderbuss? I hasten to add that my mum didn't do any carrying on like that. Well, I don't know. No, didn't. But my dad just like, my dad I think was slightly envious of these thespian types, these actors. I think my dad wanted to be an actor. My dad was a great teller of tales and stories, a great regaler of, you know, anecdote. I've said before, he couldn't tell a joke. He could not tell a joke at all. Because he knew the punchline. He'd remember the punchline. He'd forget how to get to it, but he knew the punchline. And because he's trying to get there, he knew it was coming, and he'd be laughing. And because it took you an hour to tell like a 3-second joke, it took you an hour to do it, your ribs would be killing you, because it was his painstaking efforts to get to that punchline, the payoff, that made it all the more worthwhile. So he couldn't act. And I've told you a story about his one attempt to act, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Alongside my mum for a little TV short horror story, and but I've done a video on that, so I'm not going to rehash that one. But I think he was very envious of these guys. They always came in suave and debonair, and like, you know, because don't forget, a lot of this was in the 70s, so they weren't all swish and swagger. They weren't like method actors. They were like just lovey darlings, a lot of them. And my mum fitted right on in with this crowd. She fucking loved them all, like. And as a little kid, I used to love it as well. I used to think like, sometimes if they're doing like a chorus line thing, and be a bunch of women, and like there'd be like some, you know, very attractive ladies there. Some might be slightly, well, they were all older than me. I was only a little kid, but some of them would be older, you know, and some would be in their 20s, maybe 30s, and that, like, and like they're wearing the costumes and they get changed upstairs, and I'd be like drilling holes in the walls, and like, ah. See what I did there? I leaned in with a shut eye. That was my moralistic upbringing. You can peek, but keep your eyes shut. Just imagine it. No. Yeah, I used to love all this sort of stuff. And my mum wanted me to go on the stage as well, and I was like, fucking, I'm not doing that. No fucking way. You know, I can act the fool, but I can't act. I can't memorise lines. I can't do that. It's too much hard work. You've really got to have it in your blood to do it, I think. Especially, you know, theatrical stuff, stage stuff. You're doing like a show in the afternoon, a show in the evening. Have you got to keep on making a noisy mess? She's got a dry. She's fucking scooping dry paint and fucking throwing it around. Yeah, it'll be all over me in a minute. Like, fucking. There's always someone in my life that's got to try and steal the show, steal the limelight. Anyway, folks, please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. Enjoy your Halloween. Be happy, be healthy, be safe. Be naughty. Of course. There's always room for a bit of naughtiness, is there not? Hammer thrived on this. Hammer pushed the naughty boundary, did they not? So, you know, if you're a Hammer fan, yeah, I would say pull your finger out, but stick your finger in. Right, I'm out of here. It's a good score. I've got to go. People need the kitchen now. People need feeding. So, folks, I'm going to see you all on the flip side of Halloween, perhaps. All Saints Day. I remember City of the Living Dead, Lucio Fulci. That was a big deal as well, was it not? So, right, ta-ra.